Welcome back to OneClimate. I'm delighted to say that we've got Christina Ora with us here. She's from the Solomon Islands Youth Delegation. Thank you for joining us, Christina. We'll start off for some of our viewers who don't know the Solomon Islands so well. Could you tell us a little bit about your country and maybe a little bit about where it is in the world and its history?
Okay, Solomon Islands is a country in the South Pacific. It's located about 3 minutes flight from Australia. Yeah, it's between Fiji, Vanuatu, those countries. Yeah, and Solomon is made up of diverse cultures and traditions, about over 90 different languages, and the most common spoken language is called Pidgin. Yeah.
And you said it's near Australia, so it must have taken you quite a long time to get here to the conference.
Can I say I have 5 different boarding passes? Yeah, it's taken me like a week to get here. Exhausting, tiring flight, but very enjoyable.
And now you're here. What do you make of the conference so far? What are you doing here?
Well, it came as unexpected too. On the very first day, I was given an opportunity to speak on behalf of the international youth at the opening plenary, and it was a great success. And I got my message out there. Yeah.
It's really good news. Yeah, I saw that you're one of the youngest people here at the entire conference, and I watched the video of you addressing the plenary. It was really impressive. Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous, but because I had the support of all the entire youth around here behind me, and I have such great friends. I mean, all these people were great, and because of the support, I managed to get through. And yeah, the message I actually gave was the fact that, yes, as you said, I'm young, I'm just 17, I'm still in high school, and I was born in 1992. And that was the first time when the UNFCCC began, and they have been negotiating all my entire life. So I believe it's about time they tied a knot.
It's quite a sobering message. You've been negotiating for so long, and all that time, how has climate change been affecting the Solomon Islands?
We have seen a dramatic impact of climate change in the Solomon Islands. The very strongest impact we have seen is evacuation of people. Yeah, people have to move away from where they've been living into inland. They have to move away to the mainland, and that causes related problems like they have to adapt, start a new life, their culture may go extinct, and overcrowding. That is the main problem. But we do have problems like rising sea levels and washing away of beautiful coastlines. So that has contributed to a decline in tourism, stuff like that.
I imagine that tourism is very important for the Solomon Islands. I did a quick Google image search before we came on the show, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And so how is it affecting the tourism industry? Can you just give us a quick idea?
The tourism industry, well, it is affected in Solomon Islands. You have this from one end of Solomon Islands to the next, diverse traditions, diverse cultures, and this actually attract tourists. Like in a particular country, you have only one race, but back home you have different races. So this actually attracted tourists to come and see what Solomon Islands is made of. But due to the impacts of climate change, it's like a barrier to the achievement of sustainable development in my country. And the impacts of climate change, such as food shortages, lack of fresh water, this has contributed as people are fleeing from their villages. So, well, you as a tourist wouldn't want to go there. Those people will not be living there, and that island with which such pristine beaches and coconut trees in zillions are no longer there, so you wouldn't want to go. So yeah.
It's quite heavy stuff because we kind of talk a lot about climate change, and obviously at the moment there's big controversy. There's still lots of people who are quite sceptical about it, and I imagine if Danny, who's sitting next to me here, or we talk about what climate change means to us, and maybe it's the news reports, or maybe it's data or maps, but for you it sounds like it's really something that's happening now. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, because I see that climate change, the impact of climate change will be very strong in my future, during my lifetime. Not now. Like we've seen, but this is just the first stages. So the impact of climate change will be in my future. So I feel that I have to stand up. I feel that I have to get my voice out there and tell the big countries, tell Canada, USA, and China that we need this deal. It's essential, it's urgent, and time is running out, and they better know it.
This will be quite a firm message. I've got Daniel Nelson sitting next to me, my colleague, and he's been looking at some of the news reports around the Pacific Islands this morning, and also about the Solomon Islands. Danny, what do you make of this?
Well, I'm afraid we've gone offline. There's been an internet breakage here. Probably the 15,000 people using it at the same time has strained the system. Maybe us, I'm not sure. There's a lot of news about the Solomons and the Pacific Islands in general, because earlier today there was a mini sensation when Tuvalu delegate called for a suspension of the negotiations because the Pacific Islands are pressing for a tougher emissions curbs. So in fact the news side or the internet and Twitter is full of that, and I hope someone will talk about that later. We've got someone coming in. But it's interesting because on the Twitter feed, which I also can't call up some of the details, but there's several items at the top about voices of the youth voices from the Pacific, which probably refer to you, but I can't check the source. Pacific Island youth comes to Copenhagen seeking climate justice, presumably that's some of your groups. Delegates from that's Kiribati. Pacific Island youth comes to Copenhagen again. So there is a lot of, I would say out of the top 15, about 8 or 9 of them are about youth action. So it's not just the Solomons, is it? It seems to be other islands as well people are very concerned.
It's really great that your message is getting out there and attracting a lot of attention on the internet. So what is it that you're working towards at the COP? I've seen lots of actions going on behind us here in the centre. But can you give us an idea of how your days are looking at the COP? What kind of activities you've been doing?
Well, the activities we mainly do is this is the first time, especially for Solomon Islands, to be represented. I have a youth representative, and as with the team Project Survival, we have this. We have the idea that, we are the youth, we are the future leaders, and in order for us to have a safe, free future, the fight must start now. The deal must be done now.
It's quite a stern message coming out. And how do you feel the conference has gone so far? Like, what's the vibe coming out? Is it positive or negative, or how do you feel?
I feel that things are going a bit slow, but hey, I'm not the negotiator. But I'm talking to the chairman and Louis, the top Australian negotiator. They are doing what they can, but we just want them to realize that we youth here, we want you to see that our future is in your hands, and survival is not negotiable. We all have a right to live. It's a human right, and it's in your hands to decide on that.
Christina, I think that's quite a powerful message to leave it with, and look forward to seeing how the negotiations develop and how the youth voice is heard over the coming weeks. Thanks very much.